With that down, let's move on to main topic number 3, shall we? Kim, what is our third main topic today?
All right, Kent Rhodes says, "Hi, John and crew. A couple of friends of mine and me watched Red Notice, and we all laughed at how bad it was. So I thought a tweet I saw was fake that said it was Netflix's #1 opening for any movie in its history. So I have to ask, what does it say when a movie this bad pulls in these kinds of numbers?"
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yeah, first of all, Red Notice is a movie that they've been talking about for a long time. I remember when it made headlines that we were going to get Gal Gadot, we were going to get Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and my current favorite movie star in the world, good Canadian kid, Ryan Reynolds, appearing in this movie together. Now, I was always a little bit apprehensive because it is going to be a Netflix original. 9 times out of 10, and I'm not using hyperbole here, 9 times out of 10, a Netflix original movies suck. You get the odd exception, Irishman, Old Guard, and there are a number of others. There are definitely exceptions, but it's like 9 out of 10, they're terrible. But hey, 2 of my favorite stars in the world, 3 of the biggest movie stars in the world, maybe. Then the trailers came out. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't think the trailers were great. I personally wasn't all terribly excited about the trailers, but still decided to go and, we'll see how it goes. Well, the reviews started to come out, and the reviews are not great. I think the last I checked, it was in the 30s. It had a thing in the 30s. Not great. I mean, not the worst thing in the world. It means 30. I think it was at 38%. So 38 out of every 100 critics liked it. 62 out of every 100 didn't. So it is what it is. Kind of soured me on it a little bit. But then news came out from Netflix that, it was the #1 movie debut ever on Netflix. This comes to us from the folks over at Joe Blow, who wrote the following. Per Netflix, Red Notice had the biggest opening day for a film in Netflix film history. Keep in mind, this declaration was made without giving any data to back it up, so we are going to just have to take their word for it. I can't imagine Netflix would make such a claim without having the proof in the numbers, but this can be the frustrating thing about reporting streaming success. Streamers aren't necessarily transparent with their numbers, so this is a bit of an inconsistency when touting a triumph such as this one. That being said, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, good Canadian kid, and Gal Gadot both shared the news on their respective Twitter pages. And yeah, he's right. So we had all 3 of them get on Twitter and start, and so it's clearly a coordinated effort.
We are awesome.
Yes, we are. Yes, that's exactly what it was. The We're Awesome post. It was all the same messaging. The #1 biggest rated movie ever debuting on Netflix. That was the coordinated, which makes me kind of think they decided to write that before they even got the numbers. But let's just go with, so let's just take it for what it is. Putting Joe Blow's skepticism aside for a second, and there's nothing wrong with a little bit of healthy skepticism, but putting Joe Blow's skepticism aside for just a second, let's assume that it is the #1 opening day movie on Netflix ever. With the fact that it was poorly reviewed, not horrible, but it leaned more negative, around 38%, not much lower than Eternals. What does that tell us? They asked in the question online, they say, what is this telling us when a movie that's badly reviewed, that they thought was really bad? I've heard from some people on the show that they actually liked it. I've heard from a lot of people that they didn't like it. So whatever. So how does a movie that's negatively reviewed, bunch of people didn't like it all that much, how is it the #1 thing? What's the message we take away from that? Here's my guess on it. I think the message is this: movie stars still matter.
There you go.
Movie stars still matter. I think a lot of people, including me, have talked a lot over the last couple of years is that, gone are the days when the big movie star will make the movie a hit. And that is true to a point. But there is literally no other explanation for a movie like Red Notice that didn't get the best reviews, not the best buzz, but it's got Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and Gal Gadot in it. It's got, Deadpool, Black Adam, and Wonder Woman all in the movie. That's the message here, is that as much as we, including myself, like to pretend like we know the movies, movie stars still matter. They matter. Ray, let me ask you, when you're thinking about watching a movie, I'm just curious. I know if it's over 90 minutes, you don't want to see it. No, I'm not kidding. I'm like, whenever I ask Ray if he wants to go to a movie, the very first question he asked me and Ann is, how long is it? and if it's like anywhere close to 2 hours, the answer is the same. Nah, man. That's usually. But
how long is the show today?
Yeah, but when you. Oh, and I lost Ray's camera. Oh no, we lost Ray's camera.
Ray, scoot over here.
But we still have Ray's audio here. But let me when thinking about checking out a movie, does who is in it? Does that appeal? Does that at all work into your
definitely.
decision? Yeah,
definitely. I actually watched Red Notice last night.
You did?
Kind of. It was in the background while I was doing work, but I actually thought there was some charm to it. There was like some funny stuff that I was hearing, but I can't really give you a full review of it. Like,
no, of course not.
But nothing really bothered me about it.
But there was the names in it.
Yeah, it was the names, definitely the names. Because when they were fighting, I was like, okay, that's Wonder Woman against Green Lantern and Black Adam.
Yeah, only you would say Green Lantern instead of.
Well, because let's keep it within the family. So every time she came on and she was fighting, I would do the Wonder Woman music out loud because I was like.
Oh yeah, I like it. All right, what about you, Kim? Like, do the names in a movie kind of attract you or not to whether you see it?
Absolutely. But here's the funny thing that it reminded me of immediately, because it was three people and it came up in my head. It reminds me of The Little Things with Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto on HBO.
Yep.
On streaming, it did very well. After we saw it,
but it was not good.
We were like, you had these three incredible actors and you did that? You insult me with your presence. It's not necessarily about the word of mouth when the stars are that big. All it takes to get in the door is the stars. Now from there, the responsibility is on the filmmakers, and that's where you're either going to amaze or disappoint. So they got you in the door with The Rock. You had me at The Rock, okay? You had me with my girl Gal Gadot. And then Ryan Reynolds, who doesn't want to be in a better mood? Like Ryan Reynolds, for some reason, like just the way he is, his screen presence, his humor, it just puts me in a better mood. These three people, who's not going to want to tune into that? Now, what happens after that? I don't know, you know, and so far people aren't like, this was amazing, but they got you in the doggone door.
So question is for you guys. Red Notice, according to Netflix, is their #1 first day movie ever, despite the fact that it's only got mediocre reviews. By the way, a lot of people have written to me say, John, I just saw this movie and I didn't like it at all, but it's got like a 92% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Remember, Rotten Tomatoes audience ratings are only valid if they're verified ratings. So for movies now, theatrical movies, Rotten Tomatoes can verify if somebody submitting a review for it or a score actually saw the movie or not, because they cross-reference it with their Fandango account to see if they actually bought tickets to it. They have no verification for things that are on TV or Netflix or anything like that. So anybody, like a 10,000 Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson fans, can just rush over to Rotten Tomatoes without having even seen the movie and just put 5 stars, 5 stars, perfect, right? Which, well, I'm not saying that's absolutely what happened. I'm just saying that's why until they put into place that verified system, I've never paid attention to Rotten Tomatoes audience scores unless they're verified. But just take that in consideration. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? Red Notice is the #1 film opening day that Netflix has ever had. What do you attribute that to? Do you think the trailers were awesome? I didn't, but maybe you thought the trailers were awesome. That's what got people to watch. Maybe you thought it sounded amazing. Or maybe you think like me that, you know what? Apparently movie stars still matter. And it was the fact that it was Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and Gal Gadot. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.